Welcome back to the Heritage Live Weekly, everyone. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we go over the auctions, we watch the Heritage Lives, and we talk the market. So if you want to come and hang out for that, I hope to see you here next Tuesday. As per usual, let's run through what we can anticipate for this auction. So with the Atari block, we do actually have a sealed Mario Bros here, which it'll always sell strong, especially off the back of the 2 mil Mario. We probably should keep an eye on this actually, as it could pop a bit. Okay, Double Dragon also should pull in a big premium. It is an oval seal here, but Double Dragon just doesn't come up often. Here's the Atari version, selling for fuck all. Doesn't come up that often, so this is one that sports people are excited for. We have Magic Johnson's Fast Break 9.6A+. So if you believe in the sports crossover hype with video games, this Magic Johnson game could seriously pop today. 6 Sprint Hang Tab Mario Bros 6.5. Again, I am very curious to see what this does off the back of the 2 mil sale. It just feels like anything Mario related right now has the chance to bring in some stupid numbers. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 9.2A+, already at 8,700, obviously going to be strong. Tetris 9.4A, already at 2,500. As far as weekly goes, this one is actually stacked. Pokemon Blue 8.5A+, and the yellow is a 9.4A+. So you can see those are already bringing in the thousands, of course. Pokemon Sapphire 9.4A. I'm really excited for this block here. We have Sunshine 9.6A+, 9.6A+, Pokepark, and a 9.4A+ Galaxy. All three of these, I'm excited to see what they bring in. Here's the Mario Bros. We'll just stop in and watch this one quick. Okay, it's an 87 version. I was thinking for a second this was the 83 version. So the 87 version of this game is far easier to find than the actual 83 version. And you can tell by looking at the back of the box, just on the back lower left corner of the copyright date. This is one of those games where I actually owned a VGA 85 of this exact print back in like 2015 or something. And I was called a fucking idiot for paying $300 for it. I don't own it anymore. I sold it for like 400. I think after fees and everything, I made 50 bucks profit. So I mean, hey, those add up, right? Not doing bad though. This is only a 6.5A+. So the Mario Bros sold for 2,160. So what have we seen? July 13, 3.5A+. I don't even know how you gauge that one. Oh, the Signatures had one. The Signatures had a 9.0, sell for 8,400. 9.2A+ sold for 3,800. Yeah, this one sold high. $160. Oh shit, so this is an 89 version, this was 87 version. I didn't realize there was also an 89 version. Looks like it has this little sticker on the front there, the Atari Advantage. So there are 3 distinct prints, at least, of this Atari one. 9.0 for 8,400, 6.5A+ for 2,100. How do you guys feel about that? Fair warning. I guess it just seems like a fair sale, really. Like, yeah, it's going to be a lot lower than the 9.0. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's just kind of fair, a fair sale. Continuing where we left off, we have, I believe, a first print here of Sonic 2 9.4A+, which again, this is already at 2,000 as well. And then the perfect condition, a 9.8A++ Final Fantasy 8, which is already at 4,400. We saw Final Fantasy 7 crush in perfect grade. I don't think the Final Fantasy 8 is going to see that kind of numbers. But I am curious if it gets up to that $10,000 range. San Andreas, a real print here. 9.6A+, real San Andreas. 9.8A+, Liberty City Stories. It's just a stacked auction. You're torn between Turbo 60, Speedrun 85. What are your thoughts if the game is worth 200 raw? If the game is worth 200 bucks, Dan, I always send via economy. I just economy everything that isn't really valuable. You know what I mean? Like 200 bucks, you're already gonna spend 60 to grade it. That's already like a quarter of the price of the grading. Just send it in the slow one, and that's what I say. You would have thought GB Tetris would go for a lot given the game's back history. It did sell for quite a bit, didn't it, Midjitsu? Fair warning. In the signature, Game Boy Tetris kind of crushed, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we got 78,000 on a 9.6A for Game Boy Tetris sealed. So, I mean, I think that... I think that's a good price. Can people who consign with Heritage withdraw at any time before auction day time? It seems like it, Unicorn. That's what it seems like, because on these weeklies, we've been seeing a lot of instances where items do get withdrawn. And I have to assume this is coming from the people who consigned who are asking to bail on it. I don't know what the clauses are in the contract if you do pay a fee for bailing, or I don't know enough about the rules of that. I can reach out and ask and try to get a better answer though, as I am curious as well. Where do I think is the best place to sell graded games? Pablo, there is a little bit of nuance with it. If you check out my channel, I did do a video talking about, you know, the best place to sell graded games and going over kind of the pros and cons of your different marketplaces. It is a little bit game specific. In most instances, Heritage is gonna be your best bet for big name brand titles, but also in more instances than not, eBay is going to be the best bet for that. Unless you're selling something that really could bring a significant premium, just go to eBay. You'll do fine. Okay, so that sold for $1,080. And just look at this. Look at this masterpiece of Donkey Kong. Does this not encapsulate everything about arcade Donkey Kong in one image? That is just, this is flawless artist depiction. Whoever agreed to this box art deserves a raise. Like, this is, that's pinnacle. That is peak. Coming out of that, we do enter into the NES block here. So now we are at a Baseball Stars 2, but it is only complete in box, so that's why we're not seeing insane action. The Baseball Stars series actually, like, low-key has a lot of fans. It's not a game I really care about, but a lot of people really hold Baseball Stars 1 and 2 as a factory sealed game in high regard. And here's the Bases Loaded 1, which, again, this is, well, here, they say it as well. Massive popular series went on to have 4 games released on the NES. So, even though the Bases Loaded series outside of NES, I don't think it really carries any weight anymore. With NES system and games, the Bases Loaded series was insanely popular. And we can see here that there is already some bidding action on the Bases Loaded. I'm curious if one has been offered before, though. Let's go ahead and look at Bases Loaded. Has one been offered before? What have we seen on this?
Fair warning.
So here's the oval for 9.28 plus in April. February, we had a low-grade oval as well. March 8th, we had, here you go.
Fair warning.
March 8th, 2020, over a year ago, right? 720 bucks. So the price has tripled. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And the 9.8 A++, here's a real price reference again. November 28th, or November 24th, 2019. 2,000 bucks. You could have bought a perfect one. So,
fair warning.
Who knows what the 9.8 A++ would even sell for now if we just watched the 9.4 A+ sell for 2,200. Has to be over 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Insane. If you're going to pay for Warp Zone Substitute, I think the game should, once graded, so if you're going to Warp Zone something and you expect a 9.8, a 9.6, A++, and the cost of Warp Zoning will add more than $210, I think it is, to the price of your item, that is the only time you should be Warp Zoning something. If the cost of grading, if it's risky, or if the game itself will not be worth $210, additionally, at bare minimum, don't Warp Zone it. Just, it's not worth it. Here is the Double Dragon. This is a 9.0 B+ oval seal, so the circle seal is the earlier print on this. But finding factory sealed Double Dragons in high condition has proven quite difficult. Yeah. So Double Dragon there just closed at 7,200. What do we got? So they have offered some before. Here was the circle seal that I was talking about. So there's your early print, first print Double Dragon, if you don't know. And that one sold for 30,000 in lower grade. So the circle seal one, here again, 5,600 for low grade circle. So the circle, 6,600 again. Jesus Christ. Is this the same circle seal? Did this person lose? 6.5 B+, 6.5 B+. I think this person actually lost by submitting it into the July versus October. That's insane. That's actually crazy. There aren't many instances of, like, same grade losing money. And here, 9.0 B+. This has to be the one that just graded, right? 9.0 B+, 7,200. 9.0 B+, 1,100 back in March of 2020, though. That's a year and a half ago. So we haven't really seen a oval seal come up for auction in a long time, which I guess speaks to the notion that getting Double Dragon factory sealed, they just don't come up often. It was kind of like when Battletoads exploded at the signature auction. They just don't come up often. What do you need to do in order to consign to Heritage? If you want to do it, Caesar, you need to submit at least $10,000 of items. That can be one item, that can be multiple items, but that is their minimum consignment rate right now. And that is as of like a couple of weeks ago, I reached out and asked. So that's all you need to do. Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. I got excited for a second. I thought it was factory sealed. It is only a complete in box game. I was hoping this was going to be factory sealed. This is one of those long-standing, hard-to-find NES games. If you're not deep in the library, you probably have never heard of Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, but it's one of those collector titles that people have always chased after. Full set collectors are well aware of Jackie Chan. And bringing in $1,000 for a high-grade complete in box, I'd say is pretty damn good for Jackie. Here is the Magic Johnson Fast Break 9.6A+. Extreme Sports Collector crossover here. Appeal with video games. I mean, it's funny. Back before video games entered into this investor speculator euphoria here with Graded Games and WATA, no one gave a shit about a game like Magic Johnson's Fast Break. Not that it's a super common game or anything, but these ones where, if you're a longtime collector, you know, like worthless sports games. That was just common vernacular. Nobody really held these in high regard. And as we can see now, Magic Johnson is crushing. It's very interesting to see this happening. Because sports people, here, $3,840 for Magic Johnson. Sports people, a lot of them have a lot of money. So, $3,800, right? If you're going to take a speculation shot on Magic Johnson Fast Break, really, it's one of those relativity things. For a lot of sports card investors and collectors, not a lot of money. I don't know how this will work out. I don't know how this side will go, but it's alive and well. 1K for the cleaning kit. Who's willing to bet? Thane, it looks like you are absolutely correct. Which, I don't think there's any kind of justification for this. Unless I'm mistaken, if someone in chat knows better than me, I think these were available in factory cases for quite a while. Especially this one, because, again, I think this is the later print version of it. Yeah, it has the red banner. This has to be the later print version of it, which I'm pretty sure was available in factory cases for quite a while. So, I mean, paying this much for what is essentially a peripheral with Mario on the box? I don't know. That seems a little bit questionable to me. That's not something I can get behind. RoboCop 8.5A+, 900 Spy vs. Spy, 1200, 9.2A. And here is the 6th print Mario Bros, which I believe is one print later than the 2 million one that sold. Of course, this is a complete in box one, so we can't expect any kind of price action anywhere near the 2 million one. But it's more interesting if there will be spillover into this complete in box one, as people try to run around and buy up any Mario Bros that they can now afford. That's what's more interesting. And it looks like not really. So this was only a 6.5 here, which I don't even know if it's good to deal for $1,000. Oh, this box is shot though.
Fair warning.
Yeah, this box is had. So if you want to get your premiums on complete in box Marios, you really have to have the nice boxes. Because nice boxes on hang tab Mario Bros, even just complete in box, are selling for big premiums right now. I think on eBay there was a 4th print that sold for like $6,500 raw on the weekend. A complete in box Mario Bros selling for around 6K, not graded. If you can get a nice box on one, get it. They are getting hard to find. That's what I can say about the Mario Bros. Here is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 9.2A+. This is another one of the heavy ones in today's auction. It's funny because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was also a game where video game collectors didn't really care about it until we really had that speculation and investor group of people come in. And since it's such a comic relevant game, it really exploded really quick. And we saw it there. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sold for $9,600 in 9.2A+. And we will check out the comps on this in just a second. But the Tetris here, 9.4A. Tetris on NES factory sealed, not that rare. Really, there are a lot of them out there. Selling for $3,100 though is, I think that's strong for Tetris. Let's go ahead and check out Turtles first though. What have we seen for Turtles? So 8.5A+ sold $6,000. This was what, 9.2A? 9,600? 9.2A+. 9.2A+, 9,600. $6,000 there back in April. 9.0A+. Sold for 9,600 in April. Same price? The same one? 9.2A+, 9.0A+. This is another instance here where this game did not see appreciation.
Fair warning.
0.2 higher grade, $9,600. It's interesting to see. We're not seeing massive premiums here in inflation on some of these. Some of these are selling for less than their counterparts have. We're finally seeing it. Now, I'm not saying a call for, oh, the market's crashing, but it's interesting to finally be seeing some of these right in front of us here. 9.4A for 3,100. 9.4B plus, 9.4A, 3,800 back in April.
Fair warning.
3,100. This one also sold for less. 9.4A, 3,800. 9.4A, 3,100.
1,000.
Make of it what you will. Interesting to see. What we missed, Bart versus Space Mutants, 9.4, selling for 810. And another Majesco print Contra selling for 720, sorry. I was going to say 7,200. And here's Doom, 9.2A plus. Selling strong in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Doom was pretty case fresh factory available for a while. So I don't think Doom is that rare of a game, but 2,200 for the 9.2A plus. We did have one in the signatures, I believe. Yeah. 9.8A, 13,000. 9.88 plus, wow. Doom is crushed. Jesus. I like this one at 2,200 all of a sudden. Based on these prices, 2,200 for the 9.2A plus doesn't sound too bad at all. Damn. Holy shit to this 4 display only box for Super Mario RPG.
$360.
I can't defend these. Because in my mind, with these 4 display only boxes, you can see here it says. So they were not like,
Fair warning.
I don't know, what are they? Retail promotional items, I think is the best way to understand them. But there were so many of these back over the years that were kept unfolded. So most of the display only boxes that you see come up are going to be in your 9.0 to 9.8 range. Really, a 9.0 4 display only box is kind of a low grade. Again, these are my own bias and opinions on these from what I've seen over the years. I think paying $1,300 for a 4 display only box, I just think your audience, who they appeal to, is very niche.
Fair warning.
Because I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a 4 display only boxes. Am I way too hard on them? Am I too biased against them? What do you guys think about them? I just can't get behind the prices that they're pulling now. Do I think the price of TMNT is too high? The price on TMNT for me is hard to understand just because I don't really care about it that much. And I don't think TMNT 1 on NES is that rare of a game. So for me, it's hard to understand the demand that it has because I don't really care about Turtles. I don't really care about the comic side of things. So I'm not a great person to give an opinion on TMNT 1. But we're back into Pokemon games now. 8.5A plus Rattata White E here. Not much bidding action, honestly. 3,900 for that. Doesn't feel bad. Here's a 9.4A plus Black E, which I assume is going to sell for somewhere around $5,000 just from everything we've been seeing lately. Remember, not too long ago, we saw one of these sell for like $15,000 in the weekly. That might have been like a month or two ago now. We'll check the comps on both of these right after the auctions end here. 9.4A plus, high grade on this Pokemon Yellow. Like nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, there you go. $5,280. The Pokemon games, that's just, unless you're really in that high grade now, I think there is a bit of market saturation coming up. I've been saying it before. So if we come down here, holy shit, there are a lot. So 8.0A plus, same print here, sold for $4,000 back in July 6th. We just saw this one sell for $4,000. So you can now get an 8.5A plus for the same price that an 8.0A plus sold for back in July. This one sold weak though, damn. Look at that. 8.0A plus sold for $3,000. Then a couple weeks later, it sold for $4,000. These are just hovering steady. You know what price point to expect if you're bidding on like the 8.0 to 9.2 level. That level has a very defined price point now. This is a Zelda Oracle of Ages up here, factory sealed, but it's only an 8.5A plus, which is why I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Same with the Tony Hawk's here. It's only a 9.0A plus. The Oracle of Ages did sell for $870, which it actually got outsold by Looney Tunes 9.2A plus on Game Boy Color, selling for $900. Do I just not respect the Looney Tunes? I feel like there have been a couple strong Looney Tunes sales lately where I am completely disrespecting Looney Tunes. Is that like a Space Jam crossover effect? What the hell's going on there? Let's check Pokemon Yellow quick. This was, I always forget, 9.4A plus, $5,200. 8.0A plus, if we can find one here, 9.6A plus plus sold for $12,000. That is obviously much better condition though than the 9.4A plus.
$600.
$7,200 for the 9.2A plus, but it is an early print. Damn, this is tough. It's tough with the yellow. You can see how many come up though. We're almost seeing one every week or
Fair
two.
warning, 1,000.
8.5 A plus, what was that? The Majora's Mask is up. Let's watch Majora's Mask quick. I'm gonna have to grab more comps for the Pokemon Yellow. Seeing the past 5 comps isn't giving me the right variation and the right grade range. Majora's Mask only an 8.5 A plus for $2,000. I think this is a decent sale for Majora's. We saw the really high ones here, 15,000, 19,000. Yeah, here, 9.2 A sold for 2,600 prior back in June. So I mean, we're now seeing the 8.5 A plus sell for 2,000 here. Now, decent sale, all things considered for Majora's. I'm biased, obviously. I fucking love Majora's Mask, so take what I say with a bit of a grain of salt. Here's Sunshine though, 9.6 A plus.
Fair warning.
I honestly think that this should sell for more than it's at. You know, ignoring all this bidding action, I am expecting somewhere in the 4,000 to 5,000 range for this game. That might be completely overblown. I might be crazy. But with how much Mario hype is going on right now, I have high hopes for this game. Or rather, high expectations, not high hope. Alright, so ignore everything I said about Sunshine. It looks really good at $3,000. And here's Pokepark Wii, which if you saw a couple weeks ago, we saw the $23,000 sale on a 9.8 A plus. Oh, here, they're talking about it right here. 9.8 example went for $22,800. So, now what does this one sell for, right? Which is apparently an earlier print, a little bit worse condition, but surely the hype of the $22,000 sale will spill over, right? Or will the market actually appreciate that this is not a $23,000 game and that sale price is basically bullshit? Bidding's still alive, but it's pretty slow. Pretty slow go here. Nothing. You guys were right. You guys were right. Half of my expectation there. $1,500 for the Pokepark. I was saying $3,000. I thought it was going to get more hype. But hey. Oh, God. 23,000 for slightly better condition or 1,500 for this one. Mario Galaxy not making any noise there either. 780 for the 9.4 A plus. I'm pretty sure on eBay we have been seeing copies of this selling for close to 1,000. So this game just received absolutely no bump from being in Heritage and honestly not much attention. I'm surprised Galaxy didn't crack 1,000 here. Super Mario Sunshine for $3,000. Yeah, that's probably where it sits. I'm getting excited over here. Damn. I'm the one who's getting his mind all fucked up. All these high sales and high prices have me getting crazy. Road Rash 2 is pretty cool to see here, as well as the James Bond, which brought in 1,400 actually. The Road Rash 2 brought in 960, and here is another heavy one. We have a 9.4 A++ first print of Sonic 2. And Sonic 2 is another one where there are going to be a lot of comps as soon as this ends we can take a peek at, but we're already sitting around 4,400 here at the bid. Closed for 5,040. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Sonic 2 here. 9.4 A++? Yeah, 9.4 A++. One just sold actually, there you go. So back on July 27th, 5,700, today 5,000. So $700 less, which I think you can just chalk up to noise personally. I don't know if that's, it's the sales are so close together, right? That's like 2 weeks variance there. That is probably just natural variance. We had a 9.6 A++ sell for 26,000. That's wild. And we had, that's about it, actually. Now we're back to January. So, yeah, right around $5,000 is, I guess, where we can expect these first print Sonic 2s to fall right now. The Third World War.
$130.
I want to look at this. This sold pretty strongly. Ooh, interesting. That's racy. Damn. Bill Clinton shaking hands with Saddam Hussein.
Fair warning.
That's actually really cool. Just as like a novelty piece, that's insane. Damn. And people think the 911 Siphon Filter 3 is a racy cover. Damn. So here we go. Final Fantasy VIII 9.8 A++. This is, I think, my favorite game of all time. Final Fantasy VIII.
$6,000.
I wish that this game did have the same notoriety as Final Fantasy VII just for my own personal love of the game. 9.8 A++.
$6,000.
Perfect copy. As far as I know, there are not variations of this game, so all black labels are the same. Unlike FF7 where you have like 3 distinct prints. Yeah, just, no love compared to FF7, hey? $7,200 for Final Fantasy VIII Perfect Edition. So we saw July 11th, the signature, a 9.8 A+ sell for $4,200. The 9.8 A+ again, $2,100. 9.8 A++ 4800 back in May. So compared to the May sale, the price has gone up like 60%, 70%.
$80.
Not bad, all things considered. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII is always going to lag behind. Don't let my own bias like trick you. I understand it's not nearly as good of a Final Fantasy game. I understand that, but damn do I love it.
Fair warning.
Are PAL games a good investment? Christian, I don't participate in the PAL market at all because I don't know it. I'm North American. So it could be that the PAL market has a ton of untapped potential. That is completely possible. That's probably the most possible outcome. I don't want to say no one will give a shit about the PAL market because people will probably care about it eventually. We're seeing a little bit of the Japanese market already get some steam, so I assume PAL will catch up to some degree at some point.
Fair warning.
But I know nothing about it, so I mean, hey, take my opinion for what it is. And here is a Final Fantasy VII love, I tell you. Complete in box, first print Final Fantasy VII, $630.
Fair warning.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Is the market dipping or are people getting steals this week? Fuzzy Wuzzy? That's the question to ask yourself. One price reference will never dictate explosion or come down. There's always going to be a ton of noise and volatility in these weekly auctions because it always just matters who's looking at it. So we would have to see a second sale that is lower than a previous one, in my opinion, to see it really drop down lower than what it is. And that was really cool right there. That was actually a Mega Man X5 in perfect condition selling for $3,800. Where are the Mega Man X fans at? That honestly seems great. I assume this is the first time. Oh no, they have offered one before. So back in April, 9.6A sold for $1,300. This seems like a much, much, much better deal. I would much rather buy the 9.8 A++ for, what, 3 times the price of a 9.6A?
$20.
This one seems like the better deal to me. And here's a 9.8 A+ Wild Arms, which I'm pretty sure we just saw one sell not too long ago because I was talking about Wild Arms being disrespected. Take a peek here quick. 9.8 A++ for $2,800. 9.8 A+ for $2,000. Okay, exactly where you might expect it. VCR Repairman with a $5 donation. Thank you, man. Greatly appreciated. What is the deal with sealed consoles? Some are taped shut, others are not. If a console and the contents are all bagged, isn't that sealed? No, VCR Repairman, and I will give you a full answer just after the San Andreas auction. This is the 9.6 A+ San Andreas here on PS2. So, remember the insanity, the absolute insanity that happened way back when a perfect copy of this sold for like, you know, an absolute, what is this? Oh, Trilogy. Oh, it's not going to differentiate them. 9.8, oh, here we go. 9.8 A+ sold July 13th, 2,600. Yep, this is exactly what you'd expect, so nothing to see here. So yeah, like this market variance that's taking place with some of these games, it's hard to know if it's just noise or if it's something more. You really need more price points coming down to solidify stuff. It's really, really tough when you see like the one-off games, like say a 9.8 A++ sells for a completely crazy amount. It's hard to be like, oh, that's the new price now. It's the same thing. We probably won't see more 9.8 A++s come up, so all it does is provide a reference point at that exact time. You have to take all the information together and make an inference. You can't really just take the one point, but a lot of the market is dictated by single sales. So, by that logic, I don't know, everyone's guessing. Back with consoles. So with a lot of consoles, VCR Repairman. Factory sealed consoles. There are a lot of consoles that will not have any kind of factory seals on them. That is actually most consoles. Like Super Nintendo consoles, NES consoles, most of your N64s, they are not going to have any kind of sticker seals on them. Because of this, if you actually want to get a new in-box, sealed one, you can't get technically a sealed one, right? So you have to get an unopened box. And this is generally seen on the hinges of the box. You can see paint cracking or breaking. So getting one that is opened unused is equivalent to getting the VGA qualified console. If you want to get an actual VGA standard scale console, you have to have an unopened one. So obviously you can see how this is a huge issue because most people don't even know how to differentiate between one that's never been opened and one that has been opened. Getting actual unopened vintage consoles is very difficult. Newer consoles is much easier because, you know, 3DSs, Switches, a lot of people are just buying them at retail now and submitting them for grading. But getting the actual vintage stuff, hard as hell to get a real new unopened console. Here's another Mike Tyson boxing. Remember we saw the PlayStation 1 version explode last week? I say, well, it sold for a couple thousand, didn't it? So here is an Xbox version again, Mike Tyson game, right? Are we going to see that same kind of explosion in price? This follows the same course as that Magic Johnson NES game. This is the exact same correlation here. So it sold for $1,100 for Mike Tyson Heavyweight Boxing on Xbox. I can't speak to the game's actual rarity. I have collected Xbox for quite a while, and Tyson boxing was never something anyone cared about. So it's really hard to gauge if it's actually rare in that case or if no one gave a shit. It's always hard when prices are low to gauge if it's actually rare or if no one cares. Hey Greg, just wondering if you think CGC will do custom cases like VGA or pre-made ones like WATA. If they do it like WATA, VGA will have the entire graded console and special collector's ed market. Bouchard, I agree with that. I do think CGC, I hope CGC does custom size cases and stuff and also grades modern, because you're right, if they don't, they will give VGA a monopoly on them, honestly. And as VGA does fall out of flavor a bit, I would be surprised if CGC doesn't capitalize on that opportunity. It's anyone's guess. Anyone's guess as to what they'll actually do about it, though. Now we are entering into the card lot, like always. Some of the people in chat actually have been getting good deals on the cards listed on Heritage auctions. So, I mean, if you're into Pokemon, if you're into Magic the Gathering, might want to keep an eye on these auctions. Some of them do sell low. What's been my experience with grading with WATA the last few months? All their social media has people angry about it, about turnaround times, but maybe they just chose the slowest tier. Well, Millennium Vintage, at this point in time, there is no such thing as using the slow tiers. They've closed off the 2 economy tiers, so you either, I think you have to submit either speedrun or via Warp Zone now. So, I mean, people are pissed off with turnaround times. The turnaround times have been ridiculous. There has been very little communication about them as well. It's mostly people talking to each other. So I think if WATA were to actually communicate the turnaround times and what is taking place, there'd be a lot less people pissed off about it. I think people are rightfully pissed off with it. Are there eBay buyers paying $5,000 and up for WATA games, or is that more? Oh no, Computer Blue. Absolutely. $5,000 and up on eBay? Absolutely. eBay, as far as I've seen, has gone as high as like $40,000 on some select games. Like some black box hang tabs have sold that high.
Fair warning.
It's not that you can't get the extreme premiums on eBay. Well, you can. That's true. You actually can't. There are extreme premiums on eBay you cannot achieve. But anything in the $1,000 to like $20,000, I would say, is very achievable and believable still on eBay. Is there anything in my collection that I would be okay if I sold it at a loss, like 10%? Yeah, there is. There is, James, for sure. There are instances where I have simply sold shit to get the money back, because when you're doing this with investing opportunity cost speculation in mind, sometimes dead capital is just as bad as taking a loss. So if you can just, take a 10% loss and move the money elsewhere, just get it out of there, sometimes that's the best option. It's kind of like cutting your losses on a losing stock. It's the same mentality. But obviously cutting your losses is very hard for most people to do, including myself. Yeah, moving money, exactly, Izzy, exactly. Once you start doing this with more of a budget-conscious and money-conscious approach, you really have to consider where you have dead money sitting and the opportunity cost of said dead money. Something might even, like, let's say you take a 10% loss on something. Yeah, in the future, that item might appreciate and you make back your money if you just sit still on it, but something else might go up 40, 50, 60%. I mean, I use these stupid examples, but you get what I mean. When we're in these highly speculative environments, you don't really want to be sitting on money where things are fucking doubling everywhere around you. Austin A, $5 donation. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Truly. Really appreciated. You don't need to do that. One last food for thought question. Do you have a money amount in mind for cashing out your collection? Austin, I mean, it's always that hypothetical number of if my collection was worth $1 million, I would probably have to sell it all, right? I'm a pretty normal dude with a normal paying job. So if there was ever a time where, or if we do reach the point where my collection is getting into 7-figure or even close to 7-figure range, is there any justification at that point for me holding on? And I know that sounds crazy and stupid, right? Of course it's 7 figures you'd sell. But like, I'm at multiple 6 here and just kind of sitting still. So it's a really weird feeling, because even sitting here with the value of my collection now, I almost feel like an idiot not selling it all. I don't know. It's a hard question, Austin. It's a lot of emotion, a lot of fear, a lot of disbelief. It feels surreal. If the money isn't real, then you don't have to deal with it. There's a lot of considerations. It's one of those things where I could really sit down and talk about the psychology and emotion of it. Because there's a lot involved, and I think it's the same type of psychology and emotion where you see people who have crypto gains, right? Maybe they're cryptocurrency. They invest $2,000 and all of a sudden it's worth $30,000 and they just don't really do anything. They don't want to sell it, right? They just kind of sit there. It's a weird phenomenon. That does it for another Heritage Live Weekly. If you only watch for the recaps and you just skip to the end of the video, cool, let's do the recap. So, best item, top item of this week's weekly auction was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, actually. 9.2 A+, selling for $9,600. We did do a lot of comparison earlier already in the video where we looked at comps, so I'm not going to go over it too much again here in the recap. If there's any specific item you want to see, just skim through the video, and we did a lot of the comp comparison real time to this week. The Double Dragon 9.0 B+, Double Dragon continues to sell strong, $7,200. B+ seal means you have a lot of rips in there, so I mean, as far as eye appeal goes and actual condition, B+ ain't great, but still $7,200 for it. Criminally undervalued, in my opinion, Final Fantasy VIII, perfect condition, $7,200. This should be a $30,000 game, this should be a $50,000 game, you heard it here first. Pokemon Yellow version though. This is where I did want to get more comps because we weren't able to find direct comparisons during the actual live bit. So let me just go over here and we will type in Pokemon Yellow. So what do we actually have that sold recently? So here is one, the 9.6 A++ in the signature for $12,000. Super strong sale, obviously. 9.2 A+ for $7,200 and the 8.5 A+ for $45. Both are earlier prints there. You can see on the cover of the box, it is a white E. So do we have a black E? Here, we have the black E. I'm saying black E there. That sold for $3,600. 9.2 A+. And, what was today's? A 9.4? Look at this one, hey. This is still the huge anomaly. This is why when I was talking earlier about single sale prices, this is a 9.2 A++ that sold for $14,000 when, you know, next week, the 9.2 A+ sells for $3,600. And now we have the 9.4 A+ selling for $5,200. So based on this sale back here, actually, of the $3,600 back in June, Pokemon Yellow did well this week. Good sale for Pokemon Yellow. I got nothing ill will to say about it. Pokemon Yellow did well this week. Good sale at $5,200. Again, we had Sonic the Hedgehog 2, WATA 9.4 A++. This is the first print of the game. Sonic 2 always sells well. It's always going to be popular. It's always going to be a great game. Sonic 2, though, is available factory sealed. As far as sealed Genesis games go, Sonic 2, for whatever reason, was available for a very long time. So this game is very much demand driven. The first print, I don't know about the relative rarity between first print Sonic 2 and later print Sonic 2. So there might be something there, but just keep in mind if you are playing on Sonic 2, if you do have them, if you are speculating on it, there are going to be a lot of them when the population report finally does come. Just something to keep in mind. Pokemon Blue version sold for 8.5 A+, $3,900. That is exactly, again, where Pokemon Blue has been selling and is selling. We had here, this is kind of interesting. Magic Johnson Fast Break, $3,800, which all we have for comparison is a 9.2A that sold back in July 2020 for $300. Oh, and sorry. We have a 9.6 A+ that sold July 12th, $660. That sports card investors, they're coming, boys. They're coming. Batten down the hatches. If you own some sports shit, it might be a good time to consider selling it or holding it. Hard to say on that, right? That is a very hard one to say. Mega Man X5, 9.8 A++, $3,800. Strong sale for Mega Man X5, honestly. Tetris 9.4A, we're always going to see Tetris on NES sell strong as well. Tetris on NES is very comparable, in my mind, to Sonic 2 on Sega Genesis. They actually have a lot of population between the two games. They aren't rare sealed games. But Tetris, Sonic, they're always going to have huge demand, so it's one of those things where you have to kind of rewire your brain to also consider how much demand. It's the relativity between supply and demand, where just because the supply isn't super small, we're still going to see high prices because there's such overwhelming demand. It took a long time for me to get that out of my head, especially with video games where it seems like everything is a pretty rare video game, but It's like how we saw Syndicate tonight sell for fuck all. Actually a rare game, but like the demand isn't there, so it's very hard to get all of the relativity of the supply and the demand. Super Mario Sunshine, 9.6 A+. This is one here where I don't think we actually did look at the comps back in the auction. So we had the signature copy, 9.8A, sell for $7,200. So this one sold for half of that. It's 9.4A, 9.8A. That does seem like a half price type of drop in my opinion. 9.4A isn't a great condition. If we were to translate that over to VGA, we'd be in like the 80 plus range because an A seal just isn't nice. So it's tough. 9.4A just isn't that good of condition. But if we go back to April 5th, you can see that the 9.6 A++ sold for $2,800. So the 9.4A is now crushing the 9.6 A++, May, June, July, August, 4 months later. So even though this might not be a huge sale or a, oh shit, no, sorry. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the 9.6 A+. Oh my God. No. Mario Sunshine crushed. It did shitty. It did shitty. I take back everything I say. Erase that whole analysis. Holy shit. This is a 9.6 A+ today. It did shitty. The 9.6 A++ was $2,800 there. The 9.4A sold for $3,600. This was either a huge bargain or Mario Sunshine has been overpriced. There are multiple today where we have seen them come down in price. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Moving right along. Pokemon Sapphire selling for $2,600. That is where this 9.4-ish grade has just landed on a lot of these Pokemon titles. If you're somewhere in the 8.0 to 9.4 range, you're going to sell for somewhere in the $2,500 to $4,000 range. That is, you know, your gold, silver, crystal, sapphire, ruby, unless you're crystal or emerald or red or blue. Those ones still command premiums. The other ones, they've gotten a little bit saturated. Bases Loaded 9.4A+ selling for $2,200. Strong sale for Bases Loaded. Doom 9.2A+. We've seen this one crush already in the signature auction. The Mario Bros 6.5A+ on Atari. You're always going to see the Mario Bros game bring in the premiums. The San Andreas 9.6A+ selling for $1,800. That seems to be where San Andreas has also cooled off to. It turns out that it's one of those things where it turns out First Print San Andreas, which we're talking about later, not later, but we're talking about PS2 prints. There's simply going to be more of these available than I think people realize when you have these best-selling franchise games on a console like the PS2. It's just not that hard for them to survive over the years, but population reports will tell the whole story, but I think that's what we're seeing a little bit with games like this. The big loser of the day, Poké Park's Adventure, WATA 9.6A+, only selling for $1,500. What a fucking joke. Poké Park is the grail of Wii. Call me disappointed. Scrolling down, we also had the NES cleaning kit selling for $1,300. I don't know. I don't know. It's a peripheral. It's a cleaning kit. Yes, it has Mario on the cover, but like, at what point are we just getting kind of crazy here? We had the for display only Super Mario RPG box, $1,300. Again, crazy to me. Empty box, says for display only on it. I don't know. Ocarina of Time PAL, the PAL market getting no respect on Heritage auctions. If you're looking to sell a PAL item, I don't recommend you send it to Heritage at this time at all. I don't think the correct eyes are on it. I don't think the right people are watching. So Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, one of the harder to find NES games, selling for $1,000 as a complete in box. It's a 9.2 complete in box. So if these random, more rare, uncommon, obscure NES games, if they come back to flavor, if in the future they become popular again, $1,000 for a 9.2 complete in box Jackie Chan will be an absolute steal. If anyone gives a shit in the future. The Hang Tab Mario Bros 6 print sold for $870. The box did have extreme wear on it though, so I don't think there's much there. Someone had said that the Legend of this Oracle of Ages sold soft. What do we have for comparisons here? We have a 9.6A+ and an 8.0A. We don't have a whole lot of comparative sales on Heritage, so 8.5A+ is just going to act as another price point. Part of me did expect this to eclipse $1,000 just because of Zelda graded, but $870 Oracle of Ages, still very affordable. Another PAL game that got absolutely crushed in my opinion here. I mean, yeah, sure, it's PAL Star Fox here, Starwing, 8.5B+, not a great grade, but if you're looking to do, you know, if you want to jump into the PAL market or the Japanese market, there might be a lot of opportunity. There aren't a lot of people looking to buy and speculate on these at this time. They might do nothing, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, PAL is set for explosion. But they are cheap right now. They're much, much, much cheaper than North American counterparts. Take that how you will. And coming down to the bottom of this week's auction, our big losers. Our big loser was Pokemon Poliwag and Staryu, actually. Just unlimited prints here. PSA 9s, which I mean, hey, $30 to get two CGC 9s. CGC 9s. Paying $30 to get two CGC 9s, that sounds like a deal, even if it's unlimited base set commons. And the video game loser this week, Carnival. 5.5, no seal, glue seal, $49. So there you have it, folks. That's another Heritage auction. Hopefully you can join us next Tuesday. I appreciate everyone who comes out for these. I appreciate everyone who watches the VODs. Hope to see you guys next Tuesday. Which someone actually told me, if you Urban Dictionary see you next Tuesday, it's really funny. So take that for what it is. See you guys next time.